back to the channel. My name is Emory. Thanks so much for being here. This channel is dedicated to helping you get better at backpacking. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider sticking around, subscribe, don't subscribe, just check back at the channel. I really don't care. Today I want to talk about why I continue to use a Jetboil Flash time and time again, even though I have other stoves that are lighter and I guess better, depending on who you are. The first reason is because it's just easy to use. It's got a lot of cool features in it, I guess, that I could go through, but at the end of the day, it's just really easy to use. It's reliable, and for 99% of backpacking, like during the summer and even going into the winter, unless you're melting snow at high elevations, this is going to serve you really well. No, they are not cheap, but I haven't had a single problem with this thing, and I wouldn't say that I beat it up, but I'm certainly not super careful with it. Let me go through the features and tell you why I like it so much. And the first one is because it is self-contained. I do this fancy little thing with it. It doesn't wiggle around. I keep a rag in the bottom of it. Oh, and my fancy little trick, I just keep it attached. I haven't yet to find a reason why I shouldn't, but it saves me a step and it makes me feel cool that I don't have to spend the time spinning the canister onto the stove. It's not the most compact system, but it makes up for that in a lot of ways. And the first is that it has an integrated lighter, as in you open this guy and you light it, and that's it. So it's got a built-in lighter. You don't have to bring an extra lighter. You probably should, and you probably already do have one, but you don't need one to light the stove. Also, it's got these cool little, I guess we can call them nipples. Those allow the pot to attach to the base to become one unit. Let me tell you why this is so important. Water is scarce, and unless you're camping at a place where you have a stream or a pond nearby, I suppose you're at risk of spilling it over. At a minimum, you might spill stuff, you might spill your meal, but I've also come into situations where I want to move my stove in the middle of cooking. Like I want to find a better stable spot for it. So you can do that. You put your lid on, you put your water in there, you're boiling it, and you can literally pick this thing up and move it around wherever you want. It also lets you know when it's about to boil. This little fancy thing right here, when you have water in it, it turns orange and it tells you that it's actually boiling so that you don't have to keep checking it and keep checking it. It boils very quickly, has the integrated lighter, like I said, and it's one solid unit. This alone sells me on this entire thing. The MSR Reactor doesn't do that. MSR does have another stove that I can list down below in the description that has a very similar feel to the Jetboil Flash, but that's why I use it all the time. It's very efficient with fuel. I'm the type of person where I'm not really boiling a lot of water. I'm just boiling for dinner and maybe some coffee. And so a small canister lasts forever. I think when I was hiking the PCT, I swapped it out maybe once a month. And for those reasons, I love the Jetboil Flash. I used to have a problem with the company and I had no idea why, but for some reason it just seemed like a cheap company. And so when I started using the Jetboil Flash, I was like, I don't want to like this thing. For some reason, I like my MSR Reactor. And then I used it for 2,000 plus miles, and it turns out that I really, really love it. I have no problems with the company. The only downside that I can possibly think of is that you cannot boil snow, or you should not boil snow with the Jetboils. And here's why. Supposedly, at the bottom of this pot, are these little, and I'll try and get focus on them. So those little things, apparently, if you boil snow in your Jetboil, those break. And if they break, it renders it useless. So you don't want to break them. The other downside would be that it has a pseudo exposed flame, but I have yet to run into a scenario in which that exposed flame is a problem. I think you can probably figure out a number of different ways to not have your flame exposed, like cook behind a rock, a tree, or block the wind with your body. But this thing burns so hot, so fast that it's really not a problem. The wind's gotta be howling for that. And that's pretty much it. Really quick video. I just wanted to tell you why I love the Jetboil Flash. And if you wanna pick one up, I will leave links in the description of the video. If you're the type of backpacker that just wants stuff to work and you like gear to just work as advertised, you really can't go wrong with a Jetboil. Again, there's nothing wrong with using a different stove. There's a lot lighter out there, a lot more compact, But for me, this is just a really good balance and an awesome value proposition for just having a reliable cook system in the backcountry to make your life at camp that much better and making coffee taste that much better as well. Thanks for sticking around. If this video was helpful, let me know. If you're new to backpacking, I have a backpacking course for beginner backpackers. I will leave links in the description of the video as well. And if you're into podcasts, I have a long-running podcast called the Byland Podcast. You want to check that out. Links in the description as well. But that's it. If you're headed out on an adventure anytime soon, be safe, make great decisions, and we'll see you next time.